Good morning, Texoma. I'm Ashley Fitzwater. Thanks for joining us for Inside Texoma. This morning is quite a special treat. We're taking an inside look at the Wichita County Sheriff's Office, and today a special focus on the Wichita County Sheriff's Office Citizens Academy and how you can get involved. Joining me now to talk about just that is Sheriff David Duke, Deputy Melvin Joyner, Community Services Director, and Larry Jackson, the Vice President of the Sheriff's Office Citizen Academy Alumni Association. So we appreciate all of you being here today to talk to us about the Wichita County Sheriff's Office Citizens Academy, and it's something SOCA, I guess, is the acronym for it. So if we refer to that today, you at home all know what we're talking about, of course. Now, Sheriff, if you can just kind of start by telling us what was your vision behind this and when did it all get started?
Well, I've been with, at the time when I took over as sheriff, I've been with the sheriff's office over 26 years. And the sheriff's office has always been a real quiet secret in the basement of the courthouse on what we do. And one of the things I wanted to do is change that, obviously, to show exactly what the sheriff's office does in Wichita County. A lot of people had no idea what all deputy sheriffs do. They don't have a clue what the jail entails. They don't have a clue about courthouse security or high-risk security for courts. They don't have an idea about the transports and inmates we pick up, where all over the country we pick them up at, as well as our civil division, which serves the civil process. So part of that was to implement citizens be able to see exactly what we do and how we do it.
Why did you think, I mean, I know you said because a lot of people just didn't know, but why did you think it was so important? You know, had you had people come up to you and say, I'm really interested in knowing what you do every day or what takes place. Had you heard from the public about that concern?
I'd heard that previously before me being taken over as sheriff of Wichita County. And part of that was just the past few sheriffs, that's elected they wanted to run their office, and that's what they did. I'm obviously not that kind of person. I want to be proactive about law enforcement, proactive in the community, proactive about crime prevention, and going out and educating people what we can do and how we can use the public and the community's help to apprehend criminals of the things that have gone wrong, that we can help try to keep our neighborhoods and communities safer.
Absolutely. And 2009 is when this all got started. So can you tell us about the process? I mean, was it kind of, you've always known this is something you wanted to do, but you're waiting for the right people to come into place or the right time to start this, or what really got the ball rolling then?
Well, most of it is, everything goes back to financial. There's never been a budget for Wichita County to have a program like this. There's never been a particular deputy in a position that will be assigned to doing that. Once I took over office and we began to work the budget and obviously try to keep things down to the minimum as we normally do, we did have a deputy position in-house in the sheriff's office that we had to fill. And first thing I did, I thought, well, Melvin Joyner's retired from the police department. I called him and asked him how bored he was, and he was pretty bored at that point. So he took the job offer, and he hit the ground running. And it was what we really need, somebody to be the caliber as Melvin has been, to take these programs that were started and just really run with them. And it's been just outstanding service to the community at this point.
What a great thing. And Deputy Joyner, this isn't a new territory for you, so to speak. You know, whenever we're talking about getting the public involved in what happens with law enforcement. So, you know, was this a comfortable avenue whenever, you know, you knew this is something I'm going to be doing now with the Wichita County Sheriff's Office?
It is. For the last 19 years of my 28-and-a-half-year career with the police department, I was in community services, and that's the type of programs that we did, along with the Crime Stopper program. Our goal was to educate the public in the law enforcement avenue. And so when the sheriff called me and said this is one of the things that he wanted to do, I was excited because it was a little bit different. The sheriff's office and the police department, we have a lot of similarities in some things, but there's a lot of differences when it comes to the civil process, it comes to the jail and other avenues. So I was really excited. The first academy that we did, we had limited to 25, and we made it 12 weeks long. And it was obvious after that 12 weeks it just wasn't long enough to show them everything we needed to show them. So the second and third academy we expanded to 14 weeks. And each week it's something different. We kind of put a little bit more to it than what we did over at the police department as far as, I don't want them sitting in the classroom all day. I want them in and out, doing things outside as well.
Is this a passion of yours to be able to share what you get to do every day and what goes on with the community?
It really is. You know, most people have no idea about law enforcement. The closest they may come is they see a police car driving down the street or a sheriff's deputy driving down the street, or they may have that unfortunate incident where they have had a burglary or a theft, and they're having to call out to take a report. So this is the other, so to speak, the other side of it that they get to see, and why the officers do or deputies do what they do.
Why do you think that this is a positive thing for the community? Because in turn, that's what you hear, you know, that it was only a positive experience and it's just helped, you know, educate the public. Why do you think it helps so much?
I think the main reason is taxes. People every day are tired of seeing their taxes go up. Once they go through this academy, they can see where their money goes for their sheriff's office, or even at the police department. They can see where their money's spent, and they can see how it's kind of sad that you know, we don't have the monies or the finances that we really need, so we make do with what we have.
That's true, an eye-opening experience then.
Exactly.
Well, I know we have a lot more to talk about, including the Alumni Association. Mr. Jackson, we definitely are not going to leave you out and include so much, so be sure to stay tuned to Inside Texoma. We're going to take a quick break, so we'll be right back with more. Welcome back to Inside Texoma. We are taking an inside look at the Wichita County Sheriff's Office Citizens Academy today. It's quite a treat. We're learning a lot about how you can get involved in Texoma and learning more about Wichita County deputies and what they do every single day and what goes on inside the Sheriff's Office. So kind of just talking a little bit more about this academy and what people can expect. We want to encourage people to sign up. There's actually a new academy starting, which is what we're talking about today. When is that academy and how can people take part in this?
September 8th. It's limited to 25, so we encourage people to either come by the Sheriff's Office, pick up an application, or they can go to the Wichita County Sheriff's Office website and they can print off an application, fill it out, and get it back to me as soon as possible. I think we've got about 6 spots.
Wow. So you need to probably call tomorrow morning, since this is Sunday. Tomorrow morning, if you're interested in doing this. Now, just to kind of let everybody at home know what they can expect. You know, you talked about it being 14 weeks, but what are you doing for these 14 weeks? You said you don't want to be just sitting in a classroom.
That's right. Obviously, the first night there, the sheriff's going to give a talk and welcome everyone. And then the next week, I think, is a tour of the jail, tour of the courthouse, tour of the sheriff's office. And then we go back in and we'll start talking about the different divisions each week of the sheriff's office. And those individuals that work in those divisions are the ones that are going to be telling what they do, why they do it, and how they do it. And of course, there's a lot of room to ask questions. And then again, we'll do a driving course is one of the deals. We'll still do a building search where they dress up and use munitions, which is a soap pellet, and they'll be bad guys, and they have to go search the building just like a deputy would have to. They're going to tour the Allred prison. They're going to ride in the LAV, light armored vehicle. They're going to see a SWAT team demonstration, a K-9 demonstration. It's just full of activities like that every week.
Wow. Mr. Jackson, were you surprised at how hands-on this was? About, I mean, he's talking about all these things that deputies get to do that you're able to do.
Yes, I was very pleasantly surprised. It was far more rewarding and hands-on than I had anticipated. I'm a military background, so I was really interested in seeing a law enforcement side when I signed up for the academy. And the start of it with the introduction by the sheriff just really whetted our appetite for what we came to do later on. I think some of the favorite pieces were what we call the shoot, don't shoot, where we're going into a building to look for bad guys. The driving, the obstacle course on driving was very interesting, and what the deputies have to go through to a proficiency level in order to pass that was quite interesting. Of course, everyone loved shooting all the weapons. Went out to the range. That was very hands-on, a lot of fun. Going out to Allred was an interesting experience, to say the least. Find different class of people you run into out there. But it does give you an idea of all that is going on. And like an awful lot of our academy graduates, most of us thought, well, they're cops. They hand out tickets and chase burglars, and that's all they do. And as the sheriff alluded to earlier, that we didn't realize protection of the courthouse, security there, the civil end of it, prisoner transport, and all those issues that come under the sheriff's office to do all those things that most of us just take for granted every day. You don't think about, well, I got to move a prisoner from here to a courthouse or pick one up somewhere else, bring them here. How is that done? Well, they get on a plane, they ride up. No, they have to send deputies to transport those people. And that is a very significant task, I think, that they have to do, especially with the overcrowding. We have to put them in other jails. And that's one of the functions they have to deal with. One of the things that surprised me the most is is the amount of training, recurrent training, that all goes on for the deputies to be licensed law enforcement officers. Every weapon they carry, they have to go through training, have to get certified, all kinds of things like that. And it reminded me of the military, where we had to go through training constantly. It's a direct parallel. These guys are constantly training to stay at the keen edge so that they can do their law enforcement job effectively.
Which that's important. So it's good to know, for those at home, that there's constant training. You're constantly learning. It's not just something that you learn and then, that's it. You're constantly learning new techniques and new ways.
That and there's skill sets that must be practiced to keep that edge.
Sure.
Like the SWAT team and their coordination, and the shoot, don't shoot, where you have to know what your buddy's going to do so you don't shoot each other, you don't make a mistake, you don't inadvertently wound an innocent civilian, or use more power and force that you need to. So these are very important training skills that they have to go over constantly, and that's one of the things that was reinforced during the academy.
Did you go through the class with anyone or through the academy with anyone?
Well, yeah, there were 25 of us.
I mean, anyone that you knew, I'm sorry.
No,
like,
no.
Can you take a friend, if you're maybe kind of nervous about it or would like to enjoy the experience with someone else at first,
We do have a lot of husband-wife teams or couples that go through it. One couple recently got married that went through it. They were dating at the time. I think one of the funniest things is the ones that when they go search the building, we had a lady, I really don't want to do this. And I said, well, you try it. I'll be right to the left side of you, and if there's something you want to pull out, I'll pull you out. After she went through, she says, can I go through it again? So, it's a new experience for a lot of people.
Sure.
And once they do it, that adrenaline's pumping, and they're ready to go again.
I love it. So you have that unknown, because I would probably be like that as well, but it's so interesting to hear how much you learn and how much you really walk away with and the positive impact that it leaves on you once you go through the classes and through the course. So such an interesting thing. Now, we're also going to talk a little bit about how, one of the first academies has come out and now made a big difference in the lives of the deputies and in the sheriff's office. It's quite an interesting story that we're excited to hear about. That's after the break here on Inside Texoma. Welcome back to Inside Texoma. Once again, we are taking a look at the Wichita County Sheriff's Office Citizens Academy, talking about how you can get involved and learn much more about the Sheriff's Office. Now, Larry Jackson, who is the Vice President of the Sheriff's Office Citizens Academy Alumni Association, was talking to us about his experience, and from your experience actually led to this Alumni Association, which I just find fascinating that you basically went through a class or went through this academy and came out with the desire to help. So
yes, there were several of us that got together after graduation and decided how can we give back what we'd gotten, share it. And so we decided on developing this alumni association where we had to write bylaws, get incorporated within the state, go to the IRS to get our 501c3 for nonprofit charity, so that we can do the things that we want to do to support the sheriff's office, buying equipment that's off budget that they can't afford, or it's easier for us to donate some money that we've gotten from various fundraising activities so that we can get the deputies the latest equipment that they want. And one of the sheriff's and ours desires that we want to do is to have a memorial for fallen deputies within the county and for the volunteer fire department members who have given their lives to the community. And so that's our next big project, is to come up with enough money through, we had a car show, we're going to do another car show next year, maybe a golf tournament, and other donations we get from the citizens to help build this memorial to honor those fallen.
Sheriff, why did you think it was so important to why do you think it's important to start this memorial, here? I mean, obviously it's a great thing, but why is it so important on your heart, to make sure that the funds are there to have this?
Well, I think the first county law enforcement in Wichita County was killed in 1896, and he was actually a constable. And he was actually murdered on the railroad tracks off of 7th Street. And there's nothing that proclaims his name to whatever happened to him. And Every year during National Law Enforcement Memorial Week, we attend the Wichita Falls Memorial, which is an excellent memorial given to the officers that have given their lives.
Sure.
And the fire department has one during Fire Prevention Week. It's for the firefighters, local firefighters who give their lives. But Wichita County has never had anything to stand up for these men on the fire departments and the police and the sheriff's office, law enforcement, or whether it's the chief of police of Burke Burnett who was killed in Burke Burnett in the 20s. There is no memorial for these officers who have given their life with the firefighters. So it's real important to me for us to have a place to memorialize these people who've given more than we could ever give by the sacrifice of their life and serving in public service and in their respectable fields that they desire to work in.
Absolutely. Is this something, though, that is just not in the budget? I mean, this is something that has to come about with the help of an association?
This has to come about with association and donations. There is no budgeted money through Wichita County. There is no taxpayer dollars going to it. It's going to be money that we're going to raise one way or the other through businesses or people just giving out of their pockets, and that's the best way to do it.
Absolutely. So, Mr. Jackson, what can people expect? I mean, when can we start seeing another fundraiser maybe come up? Is there another one in the works if people would like to give towards this?
Well, every time we do an event that supports the sheriff, there's Home Depot and Lowe's, they have things where they bring families out and we try and set up displays and other events like that. We have one at Sears and various other venues, and we always have a place where people can donate, and I'm truly amazed at the generosity of the people of this county. They are very generous. And then next year we will have another car show to try and raise funds, and I think a couple of guys are working on the bones of putting together a golf tournament, which usually brings in quite a bit. And ideas like that, just continuously working various things, even tight money times. There are people who are very generous and would like to support this kind of activity to support those who give it all.
Sure, and there are people who can. So is there a dollar amount that you're looking for? Is there a deadline that you're looking at? Or is this kind of just we're raising the funds and hoping to get to a certain place?
We're raising the funds and hoping to get to it. We'd like to think within a year or two, because it's quite a bit of money. But we've had kids come by and drop pennies in. We've had other people come by and drop a $20 bill in. We don't care.
Sure.
It's all counts, and we're very thankful for it and appreciate any donation anyone can give to help us support this what I think is a very wonderful idea.
How many people are on the association right now?
Right now, I think we have about 50 members.
Wow.
Not everyone who's graduated has joined yet, but we're seeking their membership to join us. And we have a good time. It's, as Melvin always says at the meetings, are you having fun? And that's how we try and keep it. This last weekend we did Hotter Than Hell 100. We had about 15 volunteers out supporting the deputies, and we had a lot of fun. We enjoy riding with the deputies, working with them. We get to see a lot of what they have to do, so it's quite enjoyable, and you give back to the community. You really feel like you've done something.
Deputy Joyner, how important is this association to your everyday job and the everyday, running, so to speak, of the sheriff's office?
Obviously, I could not do all of the things I do as far as crime prevention, community services that we provide, home inspections and things such as that. But manning these booths that we set up, information booths, crime prevention booths, without these people help, I could not do it. I'm one person, and they've been a blessing to me. They've been around long enough now that they know what products we have to offer. Mm-hmm. They're able to offer suggestions. One of the things is that we're wanting to get all the children fingerprinted. We have these kits, and they can explain the kits as good as I can, if not better. So they've really done a lot. I couldn't do it without them, and they're great people to have around and work with, and great to have when you need volunteers.
Is it awesome, both of you, just real quickly, to see something that was started just 2009 flourish and bloom into something so amazing, where now the community starting another association basically just to help you out when you were giving back to them, in a sense, to let them know what you simply do.
Part of that is having the plan ready to go, putting people in the right place to put it to execute the plan. That's what we're doing, and it's just great to work in this community and to help the community and get the return from the community to help us out like we've been asking. We appreciate that, what everybody does for our community.
It's always impressive to see Texoma step up. It just never seems to fail. You know, the more and more Inside Texomas we do, it's just always something Texoma's doing to give back. It's amazing to see. So we're going to take another quick break, but we will be right back with more, including the dates, the numbers you need to call to take part in this next Wichita County Sheriff's Citizens Academy. Welcome back to Inside Texoma. Once again, we're talking about the Wichita County Sheriff's Office Academy, Citizens Academy, and how you can get involved. Now, Sheriff, we heard a little bit about the Academy, you know, what takes place in the Academy, even what's come out of the Academy with the Alumni Association, but can you tell us from your perspective, really, you know, you were talking a lot about volunteerism and what they really do. So from your words, what do they do for you and your office?
Well, not only volunteering at different times for different events, which is you can't put a price tag on that because the county doesn't have budgeted funds to send paid people out to sit and do these events as well. They're a mouthpiece for the sheriff's office. They see exactly what we do. They'd be happy to tell anybody what they see because we run a transparent office. I want everybody to see what we do. And they see exactly what happens, how it works. If there's mistakes, they see how we correct a mistake. You know, we'll be the first to tell you it's a mistake.
Sure.
But they're also there to see the good things that we do every day. And that's the main, it's a very important that the Citizens Academy or the citizens can come in and do this and take it back. As well as we encourage them also to go through the Wichita Falls Police Department's Academy to see the difference between the two agencies. Catching the bad guys across the board is always the same, law enforcement. But then there's other things that the city does that we don't do, and there's things that we do, especially with the jail and civil, that the police departments don't do, and any of the police departments around here. So it's really good community service work for all of us.
I think that's interesting too, because you know you might just kind of lump it all together that everyone does the same thing, you know, but really even just talking, you can tell there's a lot of differences. So
right, and it's not duplication of services. Whether you have a state trooper, a game warden, Texas Alcohol Beverage Commission officer, Midwestern State University police officer, Burke Lake Child Park, Wichita Falls police officer, constables. There's different things that we all do, but we all, bottom line, we're here to protect and serve our communities.
The same goal all in
Same
mind.
goal.
Now, something else that was interesting is they learn a lot about the budget as well whenever they're going through the academy, which I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, and showing the budget, exactly how our budget process works, and for them to be able to understand, see how our budget is, that it's not as lean as some people think it is. The majority of our budget has to go toward personnel salaries. Then you see what we do have that we can buy goods and things with, so they'll see how it's really structured. It's really interesting for them.
And, you know, kind of just speaking about the Academy, one more time if you can give us the dates, because I know there's also some upcoming programs. You already have new ideas coming that we want to get to those, but real quickly, because there's only a limited number of spots left, as you mentioned at the beginning.
That's right. They can call me at 716-8676, and it's September 8th. The classes are 6 to 9 p.m. every Thursday. And if you don't get me at my desk, just leave a message and I will get back to you.
And is there a fee involved in this?
It's all free.
It's all free, so you can't beat that. So again, that number there on your screen, so if you can just give Deputy Joyner a call. Now, Sheriff, you had mentioned there's, you know, some new ideas working as well. It's kind of just seems like the office is continuing to grow and reach out. So what are some of the upcoming ideas that you have in mind?
One of the things I was really wanting to get done as well when I took over, and once again it takes time to put some of these programs together, is to have more of a crime prevention unit, as well as having a neighborhood watch or area watch groups. That's where we're going out into rural areas of Wichita County, be able to work with all the residents in those communities to be more vigilant about what goes on, call when they see something wrong. We don't have a whole lot of deputies. We've got about 46 sworn person, 50 sworn person deputies, but to get them out on 3 shifts, 24-hour coverage is a lot for 620 square miles of Wichita County. It's a large county. But also to these people see something, the more eyes that we have out there, the better it is for us in law enforcement.
And have you found, you know, because even with the police department, like you had mentioned earlier, that just it is the citizens, and when they're calling and they're reporting these crimes, it really helps finalize those.
A lot of times they know what's going on in their neighborhood, who's on vacation, who drives what. If they see something that's not right, a suspicious vehicle that they don't know, we would rather them call it in. It may not be nothing, but I would rather have someone call in, let us know, we'll check it out, just in case.
Absolutely. And of course, stay tuned to News Channel 6 And Inside Texoma will keep you up to date on when that program's getting started. And Mr. Jackson, one final thought for everyone at home about why they need to pick up the phone and call tomorrow morning and take part in this academy.
It's one of the most exciting programs I've ever been in my life. Really learned a lot about the community and how that we can give back to the community. Having learned about the Sheriff's Office, I find it very rewarding.
Well, I appreciate all three of you taking time to come and talk to us today and really kind of giving us an inside look at the Wichita County Sheriff's Office. So we just appreciate your time and everything that you do every day.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And we want to say thanks to you, Texoma, for joining us. We hope you have a great day. We'll see you back here next Sunday morning at 5:30 for another look inside Texoma.